In this video, I think it's really important that I say I am not trying to convince you of anything or tell you what to believe in or anything like that. I'm not trying to preach. I'm just exploring the things that I've been through and trying to take a new perspective of maybe something's out there watching over us. So for those of you who don't know, over the last 3 years, I've almost died twice. Not to mention the times in between where I had the little episodes and stuff, but first time from a heart surgery and the second time from a minor stroke more recently. Now, both these situations, I've had to call an ambulance, I've gotten to the hospital, and I've gotten let go in the same day with no answers. I wasn't given any information on what could have caused the problems that were going on and had to do a bunch of tests to try and figure that out. As far as my heart goes, still don't know. Still figuring that out. And while I've been trying to figure that out, a few weeks back I had a minor stroke, which threw a whole new set of challenges at me that I did not expect. Since my surgery, something's felt different. And recently when I had the minor stroke, it was the first time that I noticed that I was confronting a situation that in the past I felt really scared and really lost. And when it happened again recently with the stroke stuff, I just felt a little scared, but I didn't feel as lost. So for the longest time, I was never the person who believed in God or believed in anything certain, but I've always believed in the spiritual side of things. So ghosts and stuff like that, I've always believed that our energy stays put. Again, I don't know if that's God or just that our energy sticks around, but whatever it is, there's definitely something. For a long time, I've really struggled with that because I didn't quite know how to connect on that level, but I did always feel something drawing me more towards exploring this side of things, exploring my spiritual side. Growing up, my parents never pressured me to believe in anything. They wanted me to figure that out for myself and figure out what I believed in, what my values were, and all that kind of stuff. And over the years, there's been so many different things that gave me little signs, but I never knew what to do with it. The first time that I really felt that pull was actually when I met Sierra, because I truly believe that she is a blessing and that she is a gift in my life, and I've always been thankful, I've always been grateful, and I've tried my best to acknowledge that to whatever sent her my way. There's obviously been ups and downs, and there's always things that you can question, and some of the darker days I definitely struggled to understand why this was happening, and it's easy to fall into that victim mentality. Now, in the last couple of videos, I've kind of talked on how that mindset changes moment by moment when you're in that circumstance, but I definitely felt something shift there. And then something really cool happened. Going into surgery, you're put in this little hospital room where there's a bed and a curtain that kind of separates everything. And on the ceiling of each of those little rooms, there were paintings. And all of these paintings were animals. And it was a dolphin, like a little farm scene with a chicken, and a shark on the right side, and cool stuff like that. But not on mine. I happened to be put in the room where, when I looked up, it was a painting of roses. My great-grandfather died of heart complications, and prior to him passing, he always tried to give my grandma flowers, and those flowers were roses. And when he did pass, she told us that she would always feel like he was around because she could smell roses, or roses would come up into her life in very weird circumstances, and it was just always her way of saying, yeah, he's around, he's looking after me. So when I looked up and saw roses, I quite literally felt like I had someone watching over me. Now, I've had signs in my life that I didn't quite take as seriously, but that one definitely had me kind of go, wow. Prior to this, I had already been into manifestation and trying to manifest my goals and all this stuff, but I'd never really gotten into prayer. I woke up from that surgery and realized that I have everything that I ever could have prayed for. So maybe it wouldn't hurt to just say thank you and try praying for once. It just gave me this very big perspective shift of whether or not it's real or whatever is out there watching over us. I do believe something's got my back. And I think from now on, I'm going to try to talk to it a little more and thank it for the beautiful life that I do have. In the last 3 years, I've gone through different phases of praying and not praying, but every time that I have prayed, I feel really good. I was open to prayer because I wanted to see if maybe the prayer itself would bring me some joy or happiness, or most importantly, peace. So I started doing that, and after I started doing that, I noticed things. I noticed that my energy levels were higher. I was happier more often. I was at peace more often. And again, I'm not trying to preach here, but I just felt better. And the bigger thing I noticed that I talked to a bunch of different people about was every time I talked about it with other people and how I was feeling and the confusion and how, sometimes I felt lost on that path. I don't know how to pray properly and all that kind of stuff. Every time I talked about it, I got this overwhelming feeling after of just pure peace. It just made me think about it a little less. I didn't take it as seriously as I have to do a prayer a certain way, I have to go to church or anything like that. I just I recognized what I was feeling, and there were so many signs going on at the same time. You know, I'd play music tracks and all the songs were tied to faith. You know, you can always say that you're just interpreting that the way you want to, but so be it. I felt good, and it felt like a sign. It felt like something had my back. And there were moments where I was not doing great, and I would ask for a sign, and it would come to me in that form almost every time I asked. And that might not happen for everyone, that might not happen for you, but over the last few years, this has just made such an impact on my life that I thought, for those of you who are kind of confused or lost or just not sure about this whole God thing, I get that. I really do. And I think there's a lot of stigma around it. You don't have to go to church or have a certain prayer ritual or do it every single day. But if you're like me, where you kind of open to it, you believed in the spiritual side of things, and you just didn't really have anyone that you were going to set as something you follow or want to do or whatever, that's a really fun place to be. And I just would really encourage you to explore it more and look for signs more often. And whether people want to call it coincidence or not, that's up to them. But for me, it was signs that someone was watching over me. And recently, when I was tested and given the opportunity to put my mindset that I worked years on through heart surgery to the test, it was amazing. I had the minor stroke and I felt calm. Even during it, I didn't, it's obviously scary. It's obviously spooky. You're like, whoa, this is really happening. This is the second time like something crazy has happened. It just felt like everything was going to be okay. And that's when it kind of hit me that regardless of how you feel or what you believe in or what you think about all this stuff, if that's an emotion you can gain by just talking to something up there once a day and just checking in here and there, or just even looking for little signs that maybe something's watching over you, wow, that was something that I am very grateful I had in that moment. So if you've ever been interested or you have any questions about that stuff or my journey, there's a lot to it, and I'd love to share more, but I'd really love to hear your stories because I still am exploring this more. I'm still trying to figure out where I'm at with it all. So the more people that I can talk to and hear your journey with this spiritual side of things in any way. I'm also a big believer in ghosts. I love that stuff. I think if we all take it a little less seriously and try to kill some of that stigma, maybe you get a lot more out of it than you'd expect. I definitely did. And one little bonus thing is that looking back now, it's been really cool to look at this as I do believe something's watching over us, and all the times that it's had my back before. Yeah, it's just a really cool process, and I've had a lot of fun with it. So give it a try, don't, up to you. I'm not trying to tell you what to believe in or anything or preach by any means. I'm still trying to figure this out for myself, but on this journey, I told you guys I was going to try to share my thoughts throughout all of it, and a big part of that has been feeling a lot less lost on that front. So let me know if something's happened to you that's changed your perspective on this. I would love to know more about your story and what's going on. I'm going to talk more about this kind of stuff, not necessarily God or spiritual stuff, just mindset and perspective shifts that have really helped me through these challenging times and stuff. So if that stuff interests you, like, comment, subscribe, all the fun stuff. And I hope you're good. I hope you have a great day. You got this.